Standard accident prevention formula. Recognize the hazard. Recognize the potential, what you see up the road, for example. Prepare yourself. Understand what you should do. Well, I need to slow down, etc. I need to pay particular attention to this area because I see some children playing, whatever. No. And act on it. Don't wait for the last moment to slam on your brakes, for example. Slow down, etc. Look and pay attention to the road up ahead, for sure. And this will make you be able to act in time, so it's not a complete surprise to you. There's 6 categories of driving. So anything that can fall negatively to you as a driver will fall under one of these conditions. So, for example, if you, I just flipped the pages here, that's why, just a second. You as the driver, you're the most important part of this, obviously. You're the center of that, right? You must be mentally and physically prepared to assume responsibilities of your actions and to adjust to the fluctuating conditions. You're the one that's responsible. You must know and obey traffic regulations. You must know the laws. It's no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's your responsibility to know them. You must scrutinize any adverse psychological or physical conditions that can affect your driving, such as fatigue, stress, or you have an injury, or any kind of impairment. You're the one that makes the decisions. How do I adjust to the light? Should I wear sunglasses, put my hat down, put my sun visor, etc.? So, too much light can affect your vision, right? Too little light can affect the ability for you to identify potential hazards, affect the ability for you to be seen by other drivers. So we have to adjust. Our vehicles, we rely on our headlights at night to drive, right? To see down the road. Do not overdrive your headlights. Your speed should allow you to stop in the distance illuminated by your headlights. So, for example, if the weather's inclement, foggy, etc., we have to adjust our speed to be able to stop whatever illuminates in our headlights. What I mean, if you're driving on the road and an animal appears and you see it and then you slam on your brakes or you come to a stop, but you still struck that animal, maybe because you were going too fast at that time too. But you seen it in your headlights, but our headlights weren't shining as far ahead as they should be. And that happens, right? Different weathers, etc., different types of conditions. So, if you're coming along, we use our high beams. We shouldn't use our high beams at night, on quiet roads, etc., when traffic's not oncoming. If traffic comes along, of course we have to dim them, but get the best vision you can by using your high beams. Get as much visibility. So, and the time can come where somebody's coming along and they got their high beams on and they can cause a blinding effect. But at the same time, if this happens to you, then you shouldn't flash your headlights, for example, your high beams, because now you just put them in jeopardy too, right? And they may come across the road and strike you. So to try to do your best to not look at the lights, of course. Look down to your right, look for that right edge marking, and let that be your guide till you get by. It may mean you have to slow down. It may mean it, but never put your high beams on because they have their high beams on. And people can forget, we can all forget, we're driving along and we hadn't met a car for a while, we're on a rural road, not much traffic, etc. And we drive along and we forget that we're on music, and that can happen. Also, we have conditions of weather. Fog, rain, snow, etc. can make visibility difficult. So in the Canada here, we have daytime running lights. They have been in law since I think 1990. It's a federal law. All vehicles sold in Canada since that date have to have daytime running lights. So we have that. That makes our visibility to be seen that much better in the distance, etc. because of our daytime run lights. Now we can take the country of the United States. They don't have that law in effect. They don't have that federal law. So what's the reason why they don't? I really don't know, but they don't. So we need to remember when we're driving at night, we have those daytime running lights, but they give us an illumination of the roadway a bit, and sometimes we could pull into a gas station or whatever, get gas and pull out, and we forget that we didn't turn our headlights back on, and we're using our daytime run. From that perspective, our daytime run lights don't light up our rear tail lights. So cars coming up behind you in the dark, of course, they're not going to see you as easily, and that's can be a problem. When the weather's foggy, etc., we could use fog lights to help guide us, and our vehicle's equipped in it. Turning on our high beams during foggy conditions makes it worse because it's reflecting the light, the water particles actually from the fog back at you. And same when it's snowing, etc. It'll do the same thing. So high beams are not good in that type of weather, that's for sure. And then we drive in other road conditions, like hills, rough roads, etc. Potholes galore here, right? We have lots of them. Sometimes there's poorly marked areas, etc. And we'll see signs that say bump or etc. in the road, but we really don't know how deep that pothole is or that bump is until we're onto it. Right, so we have to prepare ourselves that we need to be going at such a speed that we can slow down reasonably if it was a real serious pothole. We do not want to ever have our foot on the brake when we hit a pothole or a bump. We want to slow down as much as prior to as we can, but the moment our vehicle tire is going to hit that pothole, we should not have our foot on the brake. Because if we do, we're locking up the suspension somewhat. We're trying to keep the tire from rotating, so it's hitting that pothole in a more of a force than it should. We want it to roll through that pothole. Thus, it'll prevent probably from flattening your tire or bending your rim, etc. So it's always better to roll through. Of course, if we can slow down as much prior to, perfectly. But sometimes they'll get us by surprise, so let yourself roll through that pothole. When we drive to construction areas, we've got to take special care. So the rule of thumb in a construction area is to be 20 kilometers less than what the speed limit is in that area. So if it's 50 kilometers per hour, we should be going 30. If it's 70, we should be going a minimum of 50, right? Or maximum 50. So use that as your guiding rule through construction area. And of course, construction areas, it depends a lot as to how close are those vehicles to the side of the road that you're driving through or that construction area. That's going to determine how fast you go too. Remember, you're responsible for their safety, right? They want to go home at the end of the day too. So be alert through construction areas. You know, we get flag people that'll stop and go traffic. Pay attention to that, right? Be alert, especially alert through construction areas. Then we have traffic. We have to adjust to the traffic flow, right? So Traffic includes all road users, pedestrians, bicycles, animals, and other vehicles. We encounter all those on the road, so we have to adjust to all those conditions. So for example, if I said in the downtown area you're going 50 kilometers per hour on the main street through downtown during 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's definitely too fast for conditions. But if we're going 50 kilometers per hour at 2 o'clock on Kings Road, which is a 4-lane road, no problem, right? We have to adjust to that situation. Another thing that we have to be aware of, our vehicle. Maintenance is very important. The vehicle driving. 2 things come to mind. Our tires and our wipers. Our tires are what gives us our traction to move that vehicle, to stop it, to turn it, etc. They need to be in good condition. Tires can get underinflated or we can overinflate them. So we should be checking the tire pressure. When we need to put air in the vehicle, then we should check that with a tire pressure gauge. We need to check. Sometimes it's hard to check if a vehicle is actually low by looking at it, right? One time with the high, wide tire walls, it was easy. If the tire, you could see that droop in the tire. But now, it's a lot of low-profile tires. They're built a little bit better, and the sag in them is not as pronounced. So the tire gauge is what will tell you. How much air do you put in your tire? Well, if you look at your driver's side door, there should be a sticker on the door post, on the door itself. It'll tell you, hey, pressure in your front tires, your rear tires. What tire pressure should you have? It's written on the side of the tire wall too, but sometimes that's hard. It'll say a maximum pressure. But the sticker on your vehicle or in your homeowner's or your owner's manual, which is probably in your glove compartment, will tell you exactly what's there. So make sure you have the proper tire pressure. We need winter tires here in the winter. Obviously, we need snow tires. We have to, and they're made of a softer rubber, etc. And they make a difference that we have those. And if we decide to use studded tires, then that's even better again, right? But tires are very important. There are stopping and turning points, right? Our wipers. Are your wipers in good shape? Are they streaking? If they are streaking, then we should think, hey, get these fixed. They're not going to get any better. They're only going to get worse. So, and especially at night in the rain, and you're trying to clean your windows and it's streaking and making your visibility a lot harder. So when we notice those wipers getting poor, streaking, etc., hey, get to your local auto parts store or whatever and get those wipers changed, get it fixed. Remember, it's your first line of defense and fishing, right? So you want to get the best possible view you can. If you ever have a question about your vehicle, anything at all, I'm going to go back to the vehicle owners book, which will probably be in your glove compartment. It can tell you all the information you need to know, from how to boost the vehicle, how to change the tire, where to find the jack, where to find the flat, find the fuse in the vehicle, etc. All those stuff. Where's your windshield washer? How do you put windshield washer? Where will I find that windshield washer thing? Etc. How do I open up the edge of it? All this stuff is explained there. If a light comes on the dash, this book will tell you what it is, what's wrong, right? And or what you should do with it at the time. So always think of that too. The owner's manual is your